Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spaceless Realms Podcast. My name is Logan, and I am here with Kalki, Anthony of Egypt, Sanya Morikawa, and the legendary one and only Kalki. So, yeah, welcome, my brother. Today, we will be speaking about overall just the process of evolution. And of course, we are all reflections and fragments of the Creator, and we reflect the Most High throughout maximizing our own soul potential. So, we will be speaking about the process of evolution and how it is not comfortable whatsoever, but it is very worth it to put yourself to the test and learn who you truly are through destruction, creation, love, and self recognition and self awareness. This is a vast cosmos, and there's so much to be explored, unveiled, and so much to learn. Since everything is a reflection of ourselves, we are only rediscovering what we truly are and where we come from. So, yeah, to anybody going through a struggling time right now, just trust the process, believe in yourself, trust the divine. That's also what I wanted to surround this podcast with, is trusting within the divine and trusting that divine spark within you. you know that's very, very key to maximizing your growth. And yeah, just trusting in the invisible. Even though we can't see a lot of things are blind to the naked eye. If you're able to trust that inner vision and inner guidance, then follow your heart and it won't lead you to the wrong places. So, Kelki, go on.
Exactly. To be honest, you've said it all. You've wrapped it up, sum it up by trying to be a little bit more specific about what you talked about. But evolution, to me, a lot of people they link evolution and revolution very closely, and they are. Revolution is a form of evolution, but it's rated R because it's usually bloody. There's usually a lot of death, there's a lot of suffering, a lot of processes that happen, the transformational processes, but they're not always beneficial for everyone. Evolution and personal growth, the suffering that you go through personally, you can transmute that, like you were saying. It's a matter of being able to learn from the lesson. Now, what doesn't kill you doesn't always make you stronger. Sometimes it can maim you. It can quite literally disadvantage you in ways that are extremely difficult to deal with. But I think this ties in really well with the podcast about quantum evolution and the cosmos in general, because evolution in a cosmic sense is not possible unless we recognize the cosmic nature of our spiritual body. So we are cosmic vessels that are flowing through space and time. But the thing is, we seem to walk in ways that are so mundane in our normal realm that we forget that the dream realm is the reflection of the cosmos. The dream realm is infinite. You can travel to other planets. You can do all kinds of things. So sometimes spiritual breakthroughs, without wanting to seem redundant or repetitive, can happen the best in our dreams. That in French, we have this expression that says "la nuit porte conseil." It means that the night gives you counsel. And the counsels we get at nighttime when you sleep, sometimes that's all you need is a good night's sleep to wake up and reset the whole thing straight. And then you have a fresh life, waking up like a phoenix in the morning. You're reborn from your own ashes. And a lot of our defeats, to me, a lot of my defeats in my life are what actually made me so resilient and so strong and so persevering, because I didn't want to give up. I realized the more the system tries to beat down on me, the more certain nefarious forces, evil forces try to destroy me, try to break me down. I want to make it a point of honor to prove to them that I'm stronger than that. Sometimes we feel weak, though, and sometimes a great way to deal with that weakness and to have that spiritual breakthrough be through, can be through poetry, even speaking heart to heart with another person and expressing yourself, so that you talk about those failures, you talk about whatever you feel that you're not strong enough with, and you transmute that process artistically, verbally, emotionally, spiritually, psychically. So it's really a matter of tying all these different bodies that are part of our core body that we think is physical world. We all know we're a lot more than physical, but how much time do we give to nurture our emotional body, our spiritual body, our physical body? Even the physical one is not that nurtured usually in a realm like this one. So we have to take time to take care of all of these different aspects of ourselves, from the psyche to the consciousness to the mental to the physical to the astral to the causal, the subtle, the shamanic body, the shape shifting body, the one that's, essentially the nature of the divine subconscious within us, that gives us access to all the information. Sometimes that, like you said, you have to trust that divine spark within you. You have to trust the divine not as being an outside force that's oppressing you and forcing you to be an eternal sinner, but an eternal spark that's inside of you that represents your soul combusting as this eternally rotating ball of hydrogen and mysterious substances that create that unique formation of you.
Wow. That's amazing how you said that. Like, yeah, I feel that was a blockage for me for a while, kind of seeing God as like an outside entity, but not seeing it within myself as like an all-encompassing force that like what makes up my essence is flowing through this universal ocean. And I am the ocean at the same time, in a way, it's like that saying, like, is a wave part of the ocean or separate from the ocean, kind of thing.
Yes, yes. And even the drop, that's like the microcosm to the macrocosm, that works. It's exactly
Yeah.
what we are. We're all individual creating the whole flow,
Yeah.
but then we are the whole flow by ourselves.
I want to ask you something about, kind of going back to what we were speaking about yesterday, about the satanic force and also the good force, quote unquote, you can say. So how would we determine the deceiving satanic force from God or the Most High, the Supreme? But also, it's like the word, like, satanic or Satan has been very demonized over the years.
Demonized.
Yes, but the way I
Let's just put it as like a binary of good and evil. Let's just compare, say, example, making love to someone that wants to rape. Right? That's pretty simple to determine. If we take it on a daily basis, you look at your choice between buying a Nestle Mondelez chocolate bar that you know has sugar from slave labor plantations in Brazil, chocolate from West Africa that's enslaving children too, and then it's packaged by a giant corporation that's destroying the world, but you're like, I really like my Kit Kats or my Arrows. Are you going to make that choice? Technically that's an evil choice. You're supporting a corporation, you're supporting destruction, you're supporting slave labor, you're supporting destruction of the rainforest, imported substances that are causing all kinds of abuses, plus you're polluting the planet with that package. So that's as simple as a mundane choice between good and evil. But that being said, that doesn't mean you're unredeemable as soon as you've made that choice. It just means it adds up to your karma. So that's a simple choice that most people would say, shut up, buying a chocolate bar isn't evil. It's like, no, actually, it is. It's just you have to look at what you're buying. If you make that difference between buying that chocolate bar that's made locally by someone that you know, that's purchasing fair trade or beyond fair trade, indigenous trade cocoa, and that's making it themselves in their own, like, local business, then you win, you pass, you're good.
Yeah.
That's the difference to me between good and evil. But somebody might be like, but I really love the taste of Kit Kat. I don't want to have that dark local chocolate that they made for $5. I just want a Kit Kat. But then that's a mundane evil choice.
Yeah, the way I see it is that the satanic force can lure you away from the light and lure you away from that spark.
And from
And
the darkness too, for sure, because the darkness is not necessarily the evil force and light is not necessarily the good. Sometimes the light is what blinds us into doing the wrong thing.
wow. Yeah, like,
Something is so blinding, you don't know what's going on. You're like, it's too much light. But
yeah,
then darkness sometimes can be very, very encompassing, can be very comforting, can be very blanketing. At nighttime when we fall asleep in the dark, sometimes it's exactly what we need to rest.
yeah. Yeah, so find a balance between those two. Yeah. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
It's a common idea in this world that like light is associated with good and darkness is associated with evil, but those are leftovers or remnants of the colonial system. It has to do with demonizing black magic, demonizing African people, indigenous people, all kinds of diasporic traditions. So we don't really think about that. I didn't think about it most of my life, but I realized that's why I talk so much about the primordial darkness and the goddess now in my raps.
hmm. Yeah, this isn't really the time to just be like all love and light, like you have to be honest with yourself and yeah, embrace the challenges and overcome them, and that's how you get stronger.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah, yeah, because I feel like that.
Sometimes, like, the whole process is very grimy. You can't see the darkness.
Yeah, yeah, because I feel like that whole like love and light new age thing is kind of like a deceiving satanic force at the same time, because a lot of people are opening their minds since the universe is opening up different portals to many different facets of knowledge, and people are thinking that they know when they don't really know. And then that whole idea of love and light kind of puts like a blanket over what they should be acknowledging, but they just don't acknowledge it. For example, like someone could know that they're eating like byproducts and like flesh of children and everything like that, that ruins their entire, you already know about that. And but what I'm getting at is like, yeah, it's literally like wool gets placed over someone's eyes, a blanket gets placed over someone's eyes, and they can't see past that fabric.
Yep. No, it's exactly what it is. And especially with what you said, some people think they can say a blessing prayer and they're like, well, the lamb's going to forgive me now. I'm like, no, 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 no. The lamb's not going to forgive you. If you kill someone's child and you say a prayer after that for having murdered them, they're still not going to forgive you.
Hmm.
It's a bypassing. It's a spiritual bypassing that happens. So it's like, and it's a corruption of the indigenous practice of hunting and fishing mythologically and saying a prayer for a fully grown animal that lives its life in the wild, and that they ask to be a totem and a watcher in higher realms over them. Now that is mythological, but the idea that you can murder a baby, a newborn baby, or a barely grown animal that's stuck in factory farm conditions or even so-called organic free range, and then that you can somehow say a prayer and make that all be om love and light, thank you dear Lord for this wonderful lamb chop we have. You can't do that. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah, like in my dream last night, I realized kind of like the that like decrepit energy. I kind of realized that when I was in the astral planes, and then I was shining so bright that all those zombified energies were just being like rid of everything. And I was in my dream, I threw up, like I was like hacking up these evil spirits, and I was like spitting out these like black spirits that were, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
in my astral body, I was like, there was like these things trapped in me, and I was just spitting them out. And then when I was doing that, my light was just growing stronger, and just my overall essence.
That's
It's
beautiful.
cool. Yeah.
Something similar happened to me in a float tank actually one day, where
Oh, yo.
Krishna told me that I had to transmute these energies and that these shades were going to go into me. And I saw them start pouring into me inside the float tank, and they were pouring into my body. But this like Buddhist monk was telling me this, and Poche or Lama maybe was telling me in my head, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in the evil, exhale, and then there's only good left. And so I would breathe out calmly every time, and the energies would just get transmuted. I didn't feel possessed at all. I felt like I was just like cycling through spirits.
Shouldn't it be the other way around, where you breathe in the good and then exhale the evil?
Well, the funny thing is when I was breathing in, the spirits were pouring in. So I was breathing them in, but it's almost like my system was entirely transmuting them. And then they came out through my nostrils, and it was like, it was over.
So you're breathing in. Can you rephrase that one more time? Because that's really
Yeah, I was
interesting.
breathing in, and these spirits, they seemed like they were pouring around the walls of the float tank, and they were pouring into me, into my mouth when I was breathing.
Hmm.
And somehow I was breathing in like that, and I didn't know what else to do, because like this voice in my head was telling me, the Buddhist monk was telling me, just breathe in, breathe out calmly, you'll transmute the energies. And Krishna was telling me that that was just like I had to transmute those shades. I had this clear vision of Krishna that was like playing the flute and just like being a trickster.
Wow.
And then right after that, this Buddhist monk in my head told me, just breathe in, breathe out calmly. It lasted about an hour.
Wow. Yeah, one day I need to try a float tank. That sounds like an amazing experience for sure.
Oh, it was crazy. I made a song about it.
Is it posted?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. It's called Sensory Deprivation Sutra.
I feel like I've heard that before. What album is it on?
It's on Back from the Future.
Shit, cool.
That's one that I republished recently, but I haven't published it much. I haven't I haven't really promoted it or pushed it around, but it's actually a very interesting album.
All right, well, I feel that this podcast episode is complete, but I'm going to pull a tarot card for this reading.
Yes.
And yeah, this deck that I'm using is a spirit animal deck. So yeah, let's see what kind of archetype we can pull. Boom. The oyster.
Ooh,
What do you think of that, Kalki?
that's beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, the oyster is basically one of the most primordial forms of consciousness of the ocean, right? It's ancient. And the oyster is literally, once you learn to open up, then you can reveal your pearl to everyone. You just have to be careful who you want to actually see that and seize it in that sense, right? You can reveal pearls to people once you open up to the masses, but you want to be careful not to open up to the wrong person. If somebody's trying to pry you open, trying to force you to open up, because they want to steal what's inside of you. They want to steal the jewels and the gems you have to offer them. You have to be very careful to stay shut for those people. So you don't want to be open-minded to every person, because staying open-minded to close-minded people can only make you close-minded in the process, So I would say it's a very beautiful primordial archetype. And it shows to guard your treasures well and to build them up. But when they're ready, you only want to reveal them to a chosen few.
Thank you. That's splendid, bro. Very tremendous, honestly. Yeah, thank you for that, bro. Thank you. Yes.
Yo, thank you. Tsigani, we both have Tsigani blood. Nobody ever taught me to do tarot, but I just intuitively interpret based on what I know. And then numerology too is very interesting to throw into there.
Thank you for everything. I bless the cosmos. I bless the space. Thank you for everything. If
Likewise. Yo, please post that the one about the cosmos and the wormholes.
I will. And also I'll post this one as well. And we'll get back on. Yeah. So yeah, thank you to all of the energetic forces that tuned into this podcast. I hope you gained some levels of growth from this, and I hope you're able to benefit and grow, of course, as always, and blend in with the cosmos and tune into symbiotic synchronicities. So yeah, bless. Thank you.
Bless. Yo, thank you to all of you, truly. And like Charakin, peace.
Catch you again.
Until next episode.